Did you ever stuck in worst situation? What would be best way to handle it? More than 100 passengers are awaiting their call at Mumbai Airport to board Flight 337, which is already running half an hour behind schedule. Finally, the ticket agent announces that flight has been cancelled due to mechanical difficulties. She thanks the passengers for their patience and asks them to step forward to discuss alternative arrangements. Collective anger sweeps the line of frustrated travelers, whose best-laid plans have suddenly been thrown into disarray. Ram had been planning on an evening's worth of hard work upon reaching his destination. His heart started beating fast after announcement. He has to prepare for an important presentation the following morning, and this flight is the last direct connection of the day. He had no clue what to do now. His was the worst situation for him. The man immediately in front of him in line, let's call him Rahul, is in a rage. When he reaches the ticket counter, he appears to be out of control, cursing his head off and threatening legal action against the airline. He is at pains to let everyone within earshot know how important he is. "Do you know who I am?" he yells. "I'm the director of sales for a big company. I have got to close a deal that's been in the works for 6 months. You and your damn fool airline. I will never fly with you again. You're incompetent, and I'm going to report you, and I'll see that you're demoted if it's the last thing I do. You have no idea how much it'll cost me to miss this night. And you're going to pay for it." The only person who can possibly help Rahul to reach his destination is Anjali, the long-suffering ticket agent whom he proceeds to insult, intimidate and alienate. But in Rahul's mind, Anjali is merely a convenient target, a handy outlet for his ungovernable anger. He'd been on anger ever since the flight was first posted as departing late, dreaming up all sorts of worst-case scenarios. When one materialized, he let loose. He was unaccustomed to paying attention to his internal stale. He has absolutely no idea how angry he is, even though the people around him can see that he's ready to explode. He's incapable of recognizing his feelings, let alone controlling them. His anger makes it impossible for him to think clearly or to act in his own best interests. Instead, he has alienated Anjali, the only person who can help him make his flight. Is this an isolated incident? The chances are overwhelming that Rahul habitually lashes out at everyone in much this same way, placing in jeopardy both his career and personal life. Ram's position is no less difficult than Rahul's. He's traveling for the not entirely welcome purpose of meeting at 9 o'clock the next morning with the top managers from his largest client account. They want him to justify the cost of his service, because they've received a lower competing bid. If he's late, they may interpret his absence as a sign that he no longer values their business. If he loses that business, his annual bonus and perhaps his job will soon be under scrutiny. Ram had planned on making the final changes to his presentation software in the privacy of his hotel room that evening. Now he has no hotel at all, and tomorrow's early flight won't get him there in time. This scenario could have easily caused his anger. But Ram, even as the displeasure and agitation of his fellow travelers grows, and Rahul is busy yelling at Anjali the ticket agent, Ram begins to reflect on other, equally dire situations he has experienced. He would come out of those in one piece, and he takes comfort in that fact, even though he can't see how this one can be salvaged. Ram also didn't believe Rahul's ongoing behavior with ticket agent at counter. "I can't believe that guy," Ram says to himself. "I can understand his being angry. But he's dumping on the only person who can save him. We're all angry. But that's not the way to get what he wants, and it's not going to get me what I need." Ram spends a minute or so analyzing his predicament, always aware of how he's feeling. He tells himself to remain calm. There has to be a solution, if only he keeps his head cool. He can't quite stem his anxiety, but he pays attention to and understands the depressing and uncomfortable thoughts that creep in from the edges of his consciousness. When he reaches the ticket counter, he was prepared. "It must be hard for you to have to deal with people like that," he says to Anjali. "You have no idea," she replies, but her half-smile shows that she thinks he just might. "The airline's got problems and people think it's your fault? It doesn't make sense to blame you." Anjali is regaining both a wider smile and her confidence. "It comes with the job," she says. "Now, how can I help you?" Ram briefly explains his plight, and manages to convey how appreciative he would be if there were anything she could do. He says he would be willing to take a camel if it could get him to his presentation on time. She comes up with a route that will take Ram 1,000 miles out of his way, but that, with a change of plane, will get him to his hotel room by midnight. He thanks her profusely and adds that he'll be writing a letter of commendation to the airline. After all, he stresses, people love to complain when things go wrong, but seldom take the time to acknowledge when someone helps them out. Ram gets to his destination, a little bit jet-lagged but more or less prepared, because he puts his time aboard the alternative flights to good use. Rahul, however, is hung out to dry, forced to scramble in order to find a hotel near the airport, where he broods on the fact that he won't make his appointment and shouts at the person who delivers his room service order. Thanks for watching.